So right now, Eugene is aware that I'm present, but we're not together. Like, because in terms of molecules and the presence of each other, we're all in each other's presence. Does that make sense? We're all together right now. So when we're in close proximity, we're really one. So by that, I mean, I'm going to take notice of his breathing. And you're going to come in sync with each other's breathing.
Evan always tells me I'm not breathing.
You're not breathing. By breathing, I mean building breathing. And so if you're doing the breathing, any athletes will tell you, if you keep the breathing over here, you're not going to run very far. You need here, especially you're practicing martial arts, you want to penetrate a hit, it's from here. Not from here. You have limited power. You have to put in your whole body to it. Right? So we need to sink in with the breath. By the time I put my hands on him, he's in a very accepting position. See, he's guarded. He's guarding. Right? I lay his hand like this. If I didn't, he would be like this. He'll be like, "Don't touch me. What are you doing?" Right? So he want to be like this, right? We're going to lay him on the cross, so to speak. Right? So he's very open, palms up, and then I'm going to connect with his breathing. Right? By me touching you, I'm already sensing his breath, up and down, up and down. And you're feeling the expansion of the diaphragm over here. So when you're breathing, I want to see the breathing from the stomach, inhale, and then feel to the chest and to the collarbone. Otherwise, you're slowly drowning. Any one of you ever measure oxygen? Take with a finger clip on the medical office? No. It measures how much oxygen is in your blood. So if you're not breathing correctly, you're not pumping enough oxygen to your extremities, you're feeling cold in the fingers and the toes for girls, right? That's a lack of breathing.
That's me all the time.
For a lot of ladies, right? For men, and you want to breathe. So by the time I sense his breath, it's getting better, but not there. I think in the public environment, I can probably stay here for 5 minutes for him to ease down. But indeed, if he's breathing right, he will put himself to sleep. Right, and then this becomes his meditation, and there won't be any talking. So in a ideal environment, when people come into my practice, they don't talk, because I believe pain is universal. When somebody's hurting, you can feel it. Does that make sense? Right? You don't need to say anything. So when you're practicing on each other, after you get that breathing down, then you come down to the feet. Feet is where you get very tired, very often. You're standing on your feet, sitting on your butt all the time, so your feet is very tired. I'm just going to show you some compressions. Compressions, I mean, you don't have the power. I have 255 pounds per square inch on my right hand, so I can easily touch you. That's if that means anything to you. But by compression, I mean using the bigger part of your palm. Right, you're just pushing down. That's very easy to learn. You can take that home. See, his feet is lying like this, and then you just get in between the feet and you compress the feet. Pop, right there. Yeah?
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah, yeah.
So right away, it releases. You don't want to press on any hard surface. You want to, if this is a joint, you want to put your hand right around it. Okay, you don't want to push on the joint. So you're pressing down. You're just going as feeling, and you're looking at his face. See another pop, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even going that far.
When you say pop, what does that mean?
It's just a joint, how you
The joint just pop, like crunching your knuckles. And if you're not sure how long to stay here, it's not about the speed or the intent. It's the intensity of that pain you're inflicting on other person. I can just be here. He's going to feel really good because of that connection. How are you feeling?
So pops are good?
It's okay if it happens naturally. I'm not forcing anything. It's just something.
Evan usually doesn't talk this much. He usually just works on me, so it's less talking, more demonstration.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I have a question.
yeah. Yes, the therapist, if you're talking about massage therapist, the average lifespan is 3 years. I'm curving that curve, you know. It's because they don't know how to use their body. They don't leverage. They see the money in there, and they want to charge the money, you know, make a living. That's what they do, and then in way they take in other people's sickness, and they can't filter it out. I'm never going to give him what I have. That's mine. If I give him what I have, I become limited. Healing is unlimited. So I become a vessel, and it comes down to me, and what I do to him, he heals himself. When the Chinese said, if you're not flowing, you're hurting. If you hurt, something is not flowing, right? 痛则不通，通就不会痛。Okay. So, and again, I'm pressing him here. He's feeling really good. I'm not doing much because, you know, when you're practicing, you're always focusing on the technique. It's really not the technique. On the first level, the first degree, if this is some kind of a martial art, the first degree you go through is by feeling the pain. Pain feels different. Some feels like a tire, some feels like sponge, some feels like cotton, you know, some feels like pork, you know, dead meat. It just feels all different things. You have to be able to feel that pain. When you go to a physician, they say, where you're hurting, you say, I'm hurting here, and then sometimes they say, okay, I can understand why you're hurting there and why you're hurting there. Sometimes they will say, well, let's do some tests, you're not hurting there. But you know you're hurting, right? The older people, you can probably have that kind of experience. Younger people, you just don't hurt.
So can I ask a question? So like my daughters, you know, one time